Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Open Book Besties. I'm Misty Walker,
And I'm Kay Webster.
and today we are answering some questions that we've been getting on our videos the last few weeks, and we haven't answered, so we think it's time.
Yes,
Right?
agreed. Yep.
Okay.
Everybody's got questions, and we sometimes have answers.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
We can't guarantee that they're the right answers. We
Right.
just guarantee their answers.
Yeah, if we don't know, we'll just Google it and find a good enough answer.
Yeah, exactly. So let's dive right in.
Okay.
Mika asked, do you think it would be much harder for an author to get exposure for their book without social media? She's interested in getting her book into the hands of bloggers, but she doesn't know how without using social media.
I feel like that's kind of hard because most of the bloggers are on social media and that's how they're promoting themselves. I don't think it's impossible. I think that they would just have to go about it like a different way. Like private messaging them, I guess, or emailing them. A lot of them have, like on TikTok, they
Yeah.
have emails, and you could say like, and make it very personalized. Don't do a copy and paste. Like, go look at their videos and make sure there's a reason why you're following them and why you want to work with them, and be like, hey, I love blah 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 blah. If you want, I could send you this book or whatever. And then I'd be happy to share the TikTok, if you do a TikTok or whatever, in my newsletter or something like that. If because if you're not wanting to post or share on social media, I do think though you still have to have a social media presence so that they can tag you, and that still has, like links where readers can find you, because otherwise you're missing out on a little opportunity. Because maybe someone doesn't, maybe you don't want to post or whatever, or get up in the comments or whatever, but if you had a link in your bio, even at the very minimum, they can go click on it and go see what kind of books you have and that kind of thing. What are your thoughts?
To be honest, I think it's going to be very, very hard. It's going to be so much harder than giving in and having social media. You can get your books in the hands of bloggers if you hire a PR firm. They will absolutely, try and help you do that. But the way that they help promote you is through social media.
Right.
And so if you don't have any kind of presence there, it's just going to be so much harder. And you don't have to show your face. You don't have to, do anything but just post PR, post teasers, post, snippets of your book, post something.
Right.
Even if it has nothing to do with you. If you don't want any of your personality, any of your voice, any of your face, I think you still have to have it. It's a necessary evil.
Right. And a lot of those things you can do like in batches. We've talked about this, like you used to do this for me, you do this for yourself. Like you post the stuff that you want like
Schedule
a month
it
in advance or whatever, or weeks in advance, and you just do it all at once, schedule, and it's kind of like leave it and forget it, and then it does its thing, and so you're not constantly having to like be all up in it. I will say that the majority of my sales has come from social media, because I was, connecting with people and responding to things and just basically posting my stuff, and because a lot of things on social media are like viral, and if you're not there putting your stuff out there, it's less likely they're going to find you. And I don't know, I think that it's definitely a necessary evil, like you say. And then also you could consider getting like a PA to post on your behalf. Like my sister posts a lot for me. Actually, I have two sisters posting for me now. But because that's just because I can't handle all of it, but if I was just didn't want to be on it altogether, it wasn't my thing, I would definitely invest in someone to work that aspect on my behalf, because it really does feel like it's necessary. I mean, you can try without it, but I just don't think you're going to go very far,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah, it doesn't work the
None
same
of
way
us
that it used to.
none of us like going and showing up on social media every day. Like, I know it looks like we do because we've got a podcast, we've got YouTube channels, we've got TikToks and Instagrams and everything. But at the end of the day, it's hard and it's time consuming. But I feel like what we get out of it is worth it, and it converts financially for us. So it makes, it's just a part of the job. So
Yeah. And you have to find like I guess it would depend on what, Mika, your reasons are for not wanting to be on social media.
right.
If it's privacy, then I still think you have to do it, but you just keep yourself out of it.
Right.
Readers today are very different than readers even 5 years ago or 10 years ago. They don't just want the book, they want the author. They want, that connection. They want to know who is writing this book that they love so much. And it's just like, we're in an era of information, and when that information isn't there, it doesn't build mystique, it builds like distrust almost.
Right. Yeah.
And
Right.
so I think it's one of those things you just gotta show up for.
Yeah, and you can find a way to make it unique to you and enjoyable in some ways, because you're not going to want to do the same things that other people do. Like, you're great at like packing videos and talking directly to people, like a lot of live things and stuff, and that's not as much my thing. Like, my thing's different than yours, and I'm more showy. Like, I want to show all my things, like, look at this, and it could be that maybe some people are like, they want to lead to their blog page or something. So maybe you're sharing little snippets of your blog, and you're like writing or something. I mean, like, you can do other things, like you said, that are not just your face or you, but like still kind of lead to your stuff. I don't know.
And I think you did bring up a good point about how if you are going to be reaching out to these bloggers, you do need to look at their socials and look at what books they're reading. If you write romantic suspense, don't, offer your book up to someone that strictly reads rom-coms. So you're going to have to you're going to have to be on social media anyway to find out,
Research it.
what these bloggers are doing.
Right. And
I
again,
just don't think,
if there's some like legitimate reason of why she doesn't want to be on there or whatever, I would suggest hiring a PA. Like, a lot of PAs are just stay-at-home moms or want some extra income or whatever, and you can pay them like 10 hours a week or 5 hours a week or anything to just set up some stuff for you, and and do whatever. I mean, someone trustworthy, obviously, but that might be your solution, because you're still going to need that presence.
yeah.
And some people who do a good job of just sharing about the books and not really themselves, like Rena Kent. I don't really know anything
Rena
about
Kent.
her.
Mm-hmm.
She's one but she's out there. Her stuff is out there. Her books just keep pumping out. People know who she is, but like, when you look at her and you try to figure out, or whoever it is, to try to figure out like who they are or what they do or whatever, you don't really know. And that's okay. Like, that's the persona that they've created. And I feel like people can still be that way, but they still, you still got to get out there and advertise your books, which is your author name. So, I mean, because this is more than just advertising a book. You're basically advertising your brand, which is you, in whichever way you can get it out there.
Yeah. Agreed.
So we advise that
our advice
that you do get there, but maybe take in some help to do it, or schedule, just start maybe baby steps. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Sherry has a question for me.
Okay, let's hear it.
Because I talk about how I listen to almost an audiobook a day, and I'm sure that that's where this question is stemming from.
Mhm.
But she's wondering if I increase the speed of narrators when I read audiobooks, and absolutely,
Mhm.
100%.
I do too.
I used to be against it. Like, how can you fully enjoy what the narrator intended if you're not listening to it at the proper speed? But now I'm like, I don't have time for this, and I want to read a book.
Right. Well, the problem I had with audiobooks was that they talk too slow. And if I'm reading, technically you're reading a book, but they read way slower than I'm used to reading. And that was kind of like tripping me up. Like I wanted to skip ahead. And so once I figured out I could go a little bit faster, then it was like closer to a speed of reading that I was used to.
Yeah.
And whenever I read like self-help books and stuff, I can do those a lot faster because, you know, then they just sound like really excited chipmunks. And I'm like, yeah, let's do this. You know, I'm getting all excited. Whenever it's like fiction, I do slow it down a little bit just so I can really feel the emotions and everything. But still faster than the whatever the setting is that they put you
Yeah.
on. So the normal setting.
What speed do you listen?
Let me just tell you, I'm gonna look on my Audible here. Oh, I'm only listening to 1.2, but I've gone up way up.
Oh,
So it's just a little bit
I'm a
more.
solid 1.4 person myself.
Yeah. See, that's some book. Like there's this one girl that she would just talk really, really slow. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh. And I pushed her up to like 1.5 because I couldn't,
Yeah.
you know, I couldn't stand that slowness. And then it was like, okay, I can enjoy this audiobook again. So yeah, I like that. I like to be able to speed people up.
Yeah.
And also I took a course recently, well, it was like in January, and the guy talked so slow, and it was like he had done like these videos and he uploaded them, and then I figured out that on the little screen watcher thing that you could fast forward him too, and that made my life so much better because I was like, I can't watch these videos because he talked like a turtle, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh. And so I was like, and so once I figured out I could speed him up like 3 times, and then it was like even then it was like it was still like a normal, you know, how fast I talk. And then I was like, okay, I can handle this.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd say like 5-10 years, well, maybe closer to 5. There is nothing that would piss the narrator community off more than when someone admitted to speeding the audiobook up. Like
Really?
there is nothing in the world that would start an all-out brawl
Oh my gosh.
like in the audiobook world is if someone posted in one of the audiobook groups that they sped the speed or they, you know, when they listened. It was wild how angry they would get. And recently I've kind of seen a shift with that. I saw, who did I see recently post a TikTok about it? I don't remember, but somebody had asked them that question, and her response was, yes, it used to really, really piss me off. But now it's like whatever the listener is enjoying it at is fine. You know, that's
Right.
my goal is for them to listen to the book, and they're listening to the book. So I think like it's kind of calmed down a little bit. But if you would have asked me 5 years ago if I sped it up, I would have denied it.
Yeah.
Denied it to
You
my
don't want nobody to get
death
mad at you.
because I wouldn't want to piss anybody off.
That's funny. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you look at it from a, you know, they're consuming the books faster, so you think that you would want that, you know,
Yeah.
especially if they were binging a bunch of your books that you'd narrated, if they like you as a narrator and they can get through them faster. I mean, you're still paid for the how long it took you to narrate it. So I think that it's not like they're getting, you know, they're shortening down and it's cutting down on your reading time. You know, you're still, or you know, what they get paid or whatever, you still get the same amount. So I don't see the big deal. But it's I kind of get it. Like when people say that they don't read prologues and they just skip to chapter 1, and I'm like, what?
What?
Why would you do that? I mean, so I guess it's the
Or
same kind of thing.
epilogues.
Yeah, like you have your art, you have it put out in a certain way that you want it to be consumed, and when people don't consume it properly, you're like, you're missing the like impact of it. So I get it.
Don't you want to read about them getting married and having babies? Come on.
And then if you don't put an epilogue, you're in trouble.
Oh yeah.
I did that one time before. Well, I'm sure I did it a lot of times, but I did it on one particular book, and so many people would give it low stars. And I realized after a while, I think it's because it doesn't have an epilogue. And so then I went and added some. So hopefully
I pissed people off without doing an epilogue for Crow Scorn because it didn't feel complete to them.
It felt complete to me. I didn't even think it needed an epilogue because I just finished that book.
It did either.
I just finished that book and I thought it was good.
I had more than one person say, I wish there would have been an epilogue.
Well, maybe you can add that as like a bonus later.
Maybe.
So like a bonus story whenever you feel like doing it.
Yeah. I really love that story, so yeah, I wouldn't be upset to go and revisit it.
And I wouldn't be upset to beta read that one.
I want to send you Gracie's mom.
Yes. Is it done?
It's done. It's with my proofreader right now.
Okay. Yeah, send it when it's done. I'll be ready.
But I'm like tickled with this one. I can't wait. I'm so excited to get it out.
Right up my alley. You know, I love that kind of juicy, forbidden stuff.
But like, we don't like reverse age gaps that much. Like we share this.
Right. It's different sometimes. You know, sometimes it's okay.
Yeah.
One of my favorite books.
Sometimes it's okay.
Well, one of my favorite books on the island is Reverse.
Oh yeah.
And I love
Tracy Garvis Graves.
Yeah, she's one of my favorites.
That book is so good.
It is. And so I'm thinking, you know, I like it sometimes. And if I do, I really like it. You know, it's not just like a little bit, it's like a lot. So, and knowing how you write, I know I'll like it.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of like super good feedback from my beta readers. They're like, oh my gosh, this is so good. Like our friend Elizabeth Clinton, the whole time she was reading it, she was just sending me gifs of, is it GIF or GIF? I still don't even know, but of like somebody dumping a bucket of water over their head, or someone with a fan. Like she thought it was super steamy. So
that's good.
I'm excited. Yeah, really excited. The next question is, how do you make money from TikTok? Now, I think, judging by the way she asked the question, she's looking for, how do we make money from TikTok, the business, which we do not. And I don't think that it used to be that you could go be a creator with TikTok and make a ton of money. They don't do that anymore. The Creator Fund will give you peanuts. You make money through tips that your watchers give you. But still, from what I understand, I am not in the Creator Fund. You're not going to make very much money from it.
Right. Well, and then they also have where you can like get like connect with branding people, like
you can do influencer stuff.
And so I've had a couple of those like roll through, and they were not, like, one was like a kid's kitchen playset, and I was like, no. And then one I actually considered doing, but I just didn't have the time, and I just told them, remind me next time. But so I feel like you could make, you know, money off of that. There's actually a book called, hold on, let me tell you, because it's very helpful. It's called Influencer by Brittany. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you her name. Brittany Hennessy. And she actually goes into talking about how to look at contracts and negotiating those kinds of deals. So like they'll say, hey, you know, we want you to do a TikTok talking about our product, and it has to have blah, 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 blah. And they'll send you like a spec sheet of everything that they want. And then they'll pay you like a certain amount of money to do it. I've always been like very organic, so it's hard for me to find any that fit or that I want to do, because I don't like to talk about something in a salesy way. Like, I want to talk about something that I'm like really excited about. It's kind of, it's going to take something really special for me to actually commit to one of those things, you know?
I always get clothing and jewelry. I'm like, do you understand? I don't wear jewelry, and I wear yoga pants and a t-shirt every day. Like, that
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense. You're not making any sense.
Yeah. Well, they're sending me kids stuff and like popsicles and like all this stuff, and I'm like, no, I can't do this. I mean, like,
Yeah.
send me something that's like bookish, like, and I'll be all
Yeah.
over it. But or even marketing or stuff like that, I could probably do. But 99% of it, I'm not into it. But
Yeah.
if she's not talking about making money actually from TikTok, and she's talking about how to make money from being on TikTok, that's something that you and I both have experienced. And that's because our TikToks are kind of like the gateway for them to go to our website or
It's
to
advertising.
Amazon or to whatever, and then actually buy products. So I think it's really important to have like a link in your bio. Like
Do you
my
know that they are not allowing my link to show up? Did I tell you that?
no,
I don't know. Some people can't see it.
weird.
I don't know
Weird.
if you can. Ty can, but
I'll look at it later.
I had a meeting with this lady, Christy. She couldn't see it. And then I had a couple of my friends check, because I'm like, why is everybody saying, how do I order books, when my link is literally to my website? I don't even send it to a link tree anymore, because they tend to block link trees. So I just had my website in there, and it wasn't showing up. There was no link at all. So now in my actual bio, I have my website,
Okay.
because that's all I could figure to get it out there. But TikTok is just so strange with the things that they block. Even in the comments, if I reply, order from my website, authormistywalker.com, they'll block that.
Really?
Yeah, I'll go on to Ty's phone to look at the comments. It's not there. It's there when I look at it.
So
It's not
weird.
there on him.
Oh my
So
gosh.
anytime you say words like website, link, any kind of word that would let them know that that's what you're trying to do, they will block it.
Well, then it probably half my readers probably think I'm ignoring them then,
Yeah.
because I always say, "Oh, it's on my website."
Yeah, I'm sure. So whenever I try to be like super coy about it, I use the little chain emoji instead of writing the word link. And then I don't know. You just have to be like super slick about it,
Okay.
because they're so strange. And there's no way for you to know a definitive rule.
Right.
They don't have rules anywhere.
Their business model is to keep people on the app, and we're trying to get them off the app. So it makes sense like why they're doing that. But we're using it to be able to do this, so we have to be smarter than them.
Yeah. So I saw some girl that was like held up a sign every time. She's like, because they can also read the words on the screen. So if you write on your screen, your link is in your bio, or anything like that. Even in your, when you add text to it or whatever, they're going to read that. They're going to suppress your video.
Well then.
So I saw some chick like holding up a sign, and I'm like, I should do that from now on, because it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
How smart they are about suppressing things like that.
Well, and then that leads me into something that we kind of like talk about a lot, is that you don't want to rely on any one social media or any one platform, because their rules are ever changing, and you never know what's going to get you blocked or suppressed, or your reach is going to go out the window. So it's good to make sure that you're constantly like doing all the things that you think would help, because you need stuff to fall back on,
And you need to do whatever you can to get people on your newsletter list.
Right.
That's what
So
it boils down to.
right, exactly. So if you're putting a lot of effort in TikTok, that's great, but make sure you're not letting your other things fall by the wayside, even if you just peek in on them every now and again. And I kind of do that. Like, I start to forget about Instagram.
Oh yeah, I do too.
And I told my sister, she'll help me with it, and then I'll be like, no, I got this, I can do it, and then I'll do it, and then she'll be like, so how's your Instagram going? I'm like, oh, I just haven't gone on there in 2 weeks. And she's like, Christy, And so then she'll log in there, she'll answer questions for me and be like, Christy's really busy. Can I help you? And so I'm like, thank you, because I can't do it.
It's impossible. No one person. I think when you first start out, it's a lot easier because you
Right.
don't have so many,
Inquiries.
hands in different baskets
Yeah.
or whatever. But the more your business grows, it just gets to be impossible to do all the things and also produce books.
Right. Right. Yeah, because we're getting like, you know, well, I don't know. Sometimes it's like hundreds of messages a day, like on Instagram or whatever. And I'm sorry, but I can't keep up with it. Like.
I don't get that many.
Well, it's more like closer to like release days and things like that. I'll get more,
Yeah.
but or if I post something that's like kind of viral-ish, I will get
Mhm.
bombarded with questions, and I don't know. I can't keep up with it. I can keep up with my email. So,
Yeah.
like that's a good way to encourage people to get a hold of you. And like again, like put all these things on your website so that you'd rather them go to Google and search for you and find your website and then be like, oh, okay, well, here's her email. I can contact her. Or, ooh, I can buy her books. Like, I don't have to ask her, how do I find your books? Because I just Googled her and found her website and then it shows me how to buy her books. So make sure
Yeah.
it's like all ready to go, you know? So, like, at least on your TikTok, if they can't click on your link, they can go type in Misty Walker and boom, you pop up because you've been working on your website and your SEO has you popped up in the higher end of the traffic. And then they know how to buy it. It's just right there.
Yeah.
So, but if you don't have your website, you haven't been working on it, and then they go to Google your author name, they're like, who is this?
Mhm.
Because you don't have anything that you've been, building on your site to push it up the thing. So
Yeah. I need to work on my website.
just another thing.
Stresses me out. Websites stress me out. I honestly would like to hire like a website person
Mhm.
so I can just be like a designer that can like make it super pretty and then just be like, oh, I need to add this, I need to add that. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh, that would be amazing.
And see, what's funny is you want to do that, but see, I had that, but then I didn't like that. I wanted to be able to do it myself.
Yeah.
I'm such a
Well, that's the
control freak.
difference between us.
Yeah.
That's the difference between us is you like to control everything.
Yeah.
And if you can't control everything, you want to be in control of the person that's controlling things.
Yes. AKA my sister.
AKA Holly.
Yes. So yeah. So she works on it and then I'm like, yes, change this, don't do this. And I know that like I can get her to do it like right then, and I don't know, like I don't want to expect that out of somebody else's time.
Yeah.
But like she works so many hours for me, so I just basically put that on the list, the to-do list, and she can pop in there and do it. So
I do have a hard time, like the people that I do employ, I have a hard time asking them because I feel like, oh, I don't want to be a burden.
it
Like
just cut out.
Ari. Oh, I did.
Yeah, it's better.
Oh, okay, good. I oh, my internet is unstable.
Yeah, I know. I was like, where'd she go?
It just popped up with a little thing that said your internet stinks right now.
Uh-oh, it's usually me.
I don't know what's going on. Yeah, it's usually you. But like Ari, both of us utilize her. I have a
Mhm.
hard time ever like reaching out and being like, hey, can we do this? Can you do that? And she's
Mhm.
like, oh, you want me to actually work for the money you pay me?
Yeah, yeah,
And she makes it so comfortable. But if I don't have somebody that makes it super comfortable, I have a hard time asking. But then
yeah,
I don't do it either. So
yeah,
that whatever it is that I want done just doesn't get done.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Uh,
So, yeah.
okay. So the next question is one that I'm gonna have fun with, I think.
Uh-oh.
Which ring light is best?
That was a fun question?
Well, because one,
Oh,
okay,
'cause you've got so many. You're a
yeah.
ring light connoisseur.
Uh, okay, there's
Oh,
two.
wow, that's fancy. That one's big. I have a big one like that. I threw it in the attic. It was too
Um,
intimidating.
I have two more, but I just don't know exactly where they are. Um, and I've gone through a million of them.
Yeah, I don't even know what mine's called. I can't see the name of it. I'm too blind. But it looks like that one. The one in your hand.
One in my hand, this one.
Mhm. Yeah, kind of looks like that one.
Yeah. I have spent not a lot of money on ring lights, and
Mhm.
I've spent a ton of money on ring lights.
Mhm.
They are all pieces of crap.
Right.
Every
See,
last one of them.
you might as well get the
yeah.
$29 one from
Yep.
Amazon or whatever, and then if it breaks,
Exactly.
get a different one.
Yeah. I'm not too unhappy with this one. And it is Switti.
Oh.
SWITTI. I'm not unhappy with it.
Okay.
So
Well,
but that's the most glowing review I can give for it.
Right. We are not really tech people. We're barely like holding this podcast together. Barely.
Yeah.
And so we aren't the best to ask, but I feel like when it comes to ring lights, like you said, a cheap one is the best way to go, because if you don't like it, it's just one of those things that you'll kind of have to find one that you like, because for you, your coloring is different than my coloring, and I like this yellow light on mine, but if it doesn't have a yellow light, then I don't want it, because I want to look kind of yellow. I don't want to look blue or pink or
Me,
whatever.
I'm like, flush me out, give me white light.
Yeah. I like the yellow, like soft, like angelic glow.
That's my daughter Lorelai. She gets so upset when there's like white LED light. She loves the yellow warm.
Yes, that if I ever see white LED lights like that I have to deal with it, it's like it makes me feel like it gives me anxiety.
That's
like,
so funny.
I don't like halogen lights. Like I don't like those any kind of like just disturbing. There's a psychological thing for it, probably.
Probably. Let's not Google it. We don't need any more.
No. Any more conditions?
Yeah, no. We have enough. So those were our questions.
Okay, cool. Well, we're doing good.
I want more questions. This was fun. So make sure you guys type any kind of questions that you have in our comments. It was fun to just sit and chat.
Yeah, we like to answer questions and be helpful.
Maybe. Depending.
And then we get to our favorite part of the podcast.
What are you reading?
Yes, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Are you asking me or are you just saying it?
Well, both. You want to go first?
Okay, I'll go first. Okay, so I'm listening to an audiobook, but I also bought the paperback because I'm extra like that, and it's called The 15 Steps to Profitable YouTube Marketing by Dan.
I thought we had moved on from this, Christy. I really did. I thought we were beyond self-help.
No. I can multitask. So I got this one. I'm listening to the audiobook while I'm on my exercising bike and trying to take in how to do ads on YouTube and really hard stuff that I don't even know what I'm talking about, but I'm reading it. I'm gonna master it. And then I just finished Crow's Scorn by You, which was really, really good. And it was steamy and it was sweet and it was small town and enemies to lovers. And
isn't Crow sweet?
Yeah, I loved him. He was so sweet. So that was a good one. And then I started, thank you very much, a fiction book last night called Wit by Cora Rose. And it's him, and it's so good. It's like forced proximity and like not really enemies to lovers, but like they just don't really like each other. They're just kind of awkward. And then they're roommates. Basically, they answer an ad to be roommates and they're in college. And they're so different and so opposite. And the one guy, he's straight, Caleb, and then the other guy's a mystery, Wit. But Caleb just is so obsessed with Wit, and he doesn't understand why. Like he just wants to know him, and then he's starting to realize it's because he's attracted to him. And like I don't know, they just start, and then he gets really sick, and Wit has to take care of him. And
so is it like sexual awakening?
Yeah, and Caleb is very needy and a cuddler, and so when he's sick, he wanted Wit to he wanted to be like lay on top of him and cuddle him, and he wanted Wit to take care of him. It's just so cute and sweet. I just love it. And I kept seeing it like on Facebook and stuff. People were talking about how good it was, and so I finally got it and I'm really enjoying it. So definitely recommend that one. I have like 30% left. And actually I was reading before we got on here while you were, doing your tech support stuff, and yeah. Okay,
Giving
that's all.
myself stress hives.
I know.
See that?
Yeah. Your turn. You got 4 minutes. No, I'm just kidding.
I know, I do. I have 4 minutes and 30 seconds, which is not going to be enough time because do you know what I listened to?
What?
Sylvia Day's Crossfire series.
Really?
Okay, I read it forever and ever ago.
Mhm.
When I was first getting into romance because I wanted something that was like 50 Shades, that same
Mhm.
kind of feeling. And
Mhm.
have you ever read it?
No, but everybody says
Oh
it's good.
God, Christy. I forgot how freaking obsessed with these books are. And I totally forgot it was 5 books.
Oh my gosh.
I thought it was 3.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going and I'm getting to like towards the end of the 3rd one and I'm like, I have no idea how they're gonna wrap this up. This is just crazy. And then it didn't end. And I was like, oh, there's a 4th? And so then I'm listening to the 4th and I get to like the last 10 minutes and I'm like, I have no idea how they're gonna wrap this up, but I know they do. I know I've listened to the entire series. No, didn't end. I'm like, there's 5 books. I'm like
Oh
digging through my
gosh.
library. Yeah, 5-book series. But it is so good. Gideon and Ava,
Mhm.
like top tier romance for
Aw.
me. So good. He's like this untouchable billionaire,
Mhm.
and she's like the super headstrong, independent woman.
Mhm.
And it's like kinky and sexy and oh my gosh, they're just everything. So then after that, I was like so sad that it was over. And I was thinking, what other books did I read that had that same kind of vibe to it? And so then I started listening to today, Hardwired by Meredith Wild, because
Oh,
that
okay.
series is kind of, in that same
Mhm.
um but I have so many books that I've bought over the last few, like Gianna Darling's Dangerous Temptation just came up on audiobook, that duet, and I'm
Mhm.
dying to listen to that. So I've got that going, or it's queued up and ready. And I am just like 75% eyeball reading The Teacher of Nothing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm almost done.
Yay.
And I have enjoyed every freaking second of that book.
Yay.
I love it so much. I can't wait. I can't wait for everybody else to read it because they're
I'm nervous because, it's been a while since I've like released a me book,
yeah.
So,
Well,
hopefully.
I don't think you have any reason to be nervous because it's incredible and everybody better go pre-order that.
Thank you.
And I want I want the paperback.
I know, because the cover is really
The
beautiful.
cover is so good. When's your cover reveal?
Not until like September 28th or something.
Oh, okay,
That's a
forever
while.
away. I have a cover reveal for for Gracie's mom in 4 days.
Oh,
And you designed the cover and it is
oh,
so good. I
I
can't
forgot.
wait.
I forgot I designed it.
You did.
I
I
love
was
it.
talking to somebody about covers the other day and I said, okay, from now on it's gonna be Christy or CL Matthews Cassie. Like
Mhm. Mhm.
doing all my covers.
Yep.
So
I like doing them. They're fun.
yeah. Well, you're good at it, really good at it. I just feel bad asking you. Again, this comes back to like me feeling bad asking for
Well,
people
don't.
to do things. Okay, well, that wraps up our show for today. We will
Yep.
be back in 2 weeks
Yeah. So
for another episode of Open Book Besties. Please remember to like, subscribe,
comment,
comment,
follow us everywhere.
follow us up. Yeah, do all the things. And we will see you guys next time. Bye.